Now, Senior Presidential Advisor Osafo-Maafo is making a strong case for the publication of declared assets of public officials. He observed that cultural practice of inheritance has made all, including public officials, scared of publicizing their assets. Mr. Osafo-Maafo, however, believes assets of public officials must be published to enhance transparency and accountability in governance. The following report has more.
According to Article 286, Clause 1, subsection A to C of the 1992 Constitution, a person who holds a public office mentioned in Clause 5 of this article shall submit to the Auditor General a written declaration of all properties or assets owned by or liabilities owed by him, whether directly or indirectly, A, within 3 months of the coming into force of this Constitution or before taking office as the case may be, B, at the end of every 4 years, and C, at the end of his term of office. However, issues on assets declaration by public officials have been a bone of contention, as some public officials either do not declare their assets at all, fueling corruption perceptions, while others, including civil society organizations, have argued that the process is also shrouded in secrecy, with the Auditor General only in the know of the contents of the document. Senior Presidential Advisor Osafo-Maafo, at a stakeholder engagement on Open Government Partnership and Construction Sector Transparency Initiative, shared similar views, noting that it was important for mechanisms to be put in place to ascertain assets declared by public officials.
In Ghana, when you become a minister of state at all levels, public sector at certain levels, the first thing you do is to declare your assets and file same with the Auditor General. What I personally don't like about this law is that after you've declared the assets, everything is kept confidential between the Auditor General and yourself. And therefore, it becomes very difficult for anybody to challenge the authenticity of your declaration. I think that, yes, let's declare the assets, but there should be a certain level of transparency in the declaration of the assets so that people can assess what you declared, also by certain procedures. I happens to be in the Consultative Assembly when we were drawing up the Constitution of the Republic, when we put in this phrase. And I was championing the publication of the assets. And of course, the chiefs were there in their right numbers. The chiefs were so furious with me because they said, look, do you want people to kill us when they know what we have?
The senior presidential advisor has also been speaking on recent intermittent power outages in a sideline interview, indicating that the publication of a timetable can be done, but says the responsibility lies with the energy minister.
The call generally is to Minister of Energy to publish the rationalization of the power. Nobody can do it except the Minister of Energy. You get my point, because they have seen the generation and they are looking at the utilization. So they can have one and say that in this particular area, this is how it should be. In that particular area, that how it should be. But it's something which can be done. Because you have what you have and what you have to use, and then the spread. Because the power is being generated at certain quarters, it has to be distributed throughout the whole country.
Meanwhile, board chairman of the Construction Sector Transparency Initiative, Christian Pothman, has been highlighting efforts being made to have the initiative rolled out nationwide to tackle corruption, following the successful piloting with the Sekende Takrade Metropolitan Assembly.
Potentially, it's a major game changer. But as I said, these things take time. But in some of the countries that have been implementing COS the longest, we have seen some significant changes. Something that goes beyond the odd project that is being looked at. It's an institutional change. So I'm optimistic. I think what we see here bodes well for the future.
Amidst this development, the Conduct of Public Officers Bill is yet to see the light of day as calls intensify for its passage. The essence of transparency and accountability in governance has been highlighted at this stakeholders forum. For participants, it is important to deal with the issue of corruption. For Citi News, my name is Daniel Sakiti.